Imagine owning one of the most famous shoe brands in the world, a brand worn by rock stars, basketball legends, and millions of rebellious teenagers. Now imagine that brand going bankrupt. That was the fate of Converse in 2001. The company that once dominated basketball courts across America was suddenly drowning in debt. Most experts thought the brand was finished, but then something surprising happened. In 2003, Nike stepped in and bought the entire company for $305 million. And what happened next shocked the business world. Nike didn't redesign the shoes. They didn't reinvent the brand. They didn't even change much at all. And yet, today, Converse generates billions in revenue. So the question is, how did Nike save Converse by doing almost nothing? And more importantly, what can leaders learn from one of the smartest strategic decisions in business history? Long before Nike dominated global sportswear, Converse ruled basketball. In fact, for decades, nearly every professional basketball player wore Converse shoes. Legends like Larry Bird and Julius Erving wore them. And the company's most iconic product, the Chuck Taylor All-Star. Simple, timeless, recognizable anywhere in the world. But then the sports industry changed. New technology entered the game. Air cushions, performance engineering, massive athlete endorsements. Companies like Nike, Adidas, and Reebok began dominating the market. Converse struggled to keep up. Sales collapsed. Debt exploded. And by 2001, the company filed for bankruptcy. To many analysts, Converse was a nostalgic relic, a brand loved by culture, but abandoned by business. When Nike bought Converse in 2003, analysts expected a typical corporate takeover. They assumed Nike would redesign the shoes, add new technology, integrate it into Nike's product line, relaunch the brand. In other words, they expected transformation. But Nike's leadership saw something others missed. Converse was no longer a sports brand. It had become something far more powerful, a cultural icon. The shoes were worn by musicians, artists, skateboarders, students, rebels. People weren't buying Converse for performance. They were buying it for identity. And Nike realized something brilliant. Changing the product would destroy the magic. Instead of redesigning Converse, Nike did three simple things. First, they protected the brand. The iconic Chuck Taylor shoe stayed almost exactly the same. No radical redesign, no technological overhaul, just the same classic silhouette people loved. Second, Nike quietly applied its greatest strength: distribution. Nike has one of the most powerful global supply chains in the world. Suddenly, Converse shoes could reach more countries, more retailers, millions of new customers. But to the consumer, it still felt like the same old Converse. Third, Nike expanded the brand slowly and carefully. Limited editions, designer collaborations, lifestyle collections. But they resisted the temptation to flood the market. Scarcity created desirability. And over time, the brand exploded in popularity again. Today, Converse is once again a global powerhouse. The Chuck Taylor All-Star remains one of the most recognizable shoes on the planet, and Nike achieved this turnaround without massive restructuring, radical product innovation, expensive marketing revolutions. Instead, they used something far more powerful: strategic restraint. This story reveals a leadership principle that many executives ignore. Most leaders believe leadership means constant change, but great leadership is really about judgment. Knowing what to change, what to improve, and most importantly, what to leave alone. Nike understood that the real value of Converse wasn't the shoe, it was the culture around the shoe. And by protecting that culture while strengthening distribution, they turned a bankrupt company into a thriving global brand. In business, leaders often believe success comes from bold disruption, but sometimes the most intelligent strategy is something quieter. Observe carefully, protect what people already love. Strengthen the system behind it, and resist the urge to interfere, because sometimes the smartest move a leader can make is knowing when not to change the game at all. So the next time someone tells you leadership means radical transformation, Remember the story of Nike and Converse, a $305 million decision, a bankrupt brand, and one of the greatest business turnarounds in history, achieved by doing almost nothing. Subscribe to the channel for more incredible stories on leadership and strategy.